What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about what we're going to see later today. Actually, just a few hours away, in like 7-8-ish hours, when Jeff Keighley, under the Summer Game Fest, does their announcement. Whether it's going to be a Mafia 2 remaster, whether it's going to be Mafia 4, and kind of really start to stamp out that this is what I think we're getting close to. Now, yesterday, we had a whole debacle, right? There was a whole thing that went around, actually even back towards like Sunday, as to what this mystery game is going to be. What is Jeff Keighley going to show? What's this game going to be under the first real... I mean, this is a big thing, right? I mean, I think people are getting a little too amped up, right? That's kind of why I tried to calm everybody down, basically, yesterday. And what I've always said is I feel whatever they're going to announce later, and this is at, I believe 10 in the morning they're going to announce this today, in terms of a Pacific Standard Time. Obviously, it changes with every other time. But I've always said I think it's going to be a middle tier game. It's not going to be the most revolutionary, the biggest, the most massive game in the world, but it's also probably not going to be like an indie, not something like, a lot of the games we saw at Inside Xbox, they were cool for what they were. Again, a lot of people got disappointed because they set their expectations, and Microsoft made us set our expectations in the wrong way, right? And some of those games were really cool, but some of them were very, they're indie games. Some of them were very, very small. So I think this game was always going to fall in the middle. And yesterday we talked about, okay, could it be and I've always said, I think a remaster / a remake seems like a pretty good kind of middle ground, right? Because it's a game that used to be popular. It still probably is in some way popular. It still is talked about today. And, you don't normally remake or remaster games that, like, sucked, right? So it's obviously going to be a pretty solid game. All that, and you know what I mean? It's not the biggest game in the world, but it's not a small thing because you are remastering or you're remaking something. Now, I said maybe this is the time you do a Mass Effect. Maybe this is when EA does Mass Effect. Now, I know EA has their own thing, but they could do something here and then obviously do the rest at their own thing on June 12th. They could do that, right? I talked about maybe a Crash, right? Crash Bandicoot, whether we get a new game, whether we get a remake. That would be pretty big. It wouldn't be the biggest thing in the world, although it would be pretty darn big. It wouldn't be small, right? Okay, but now we have Mafia, and Mafia is something that, we've talked quite a bit on the channel. This is getting very exciting, right? Because this could, I really do believe, if you have to ask me what my prediction is today. Now, yesterday, again, I would have probably told you Crash or Mass Effect. If you ask me today, or like a few hours before this thing happens, I really am leaning Mafia. And it's what I talked about in the Batman video yesterday as well, is the Mafia Twitter has come back to life, right? And they had family and they've had power. Now, I don't know, because I'm recording this the day before. I'm recording this Monday, afternoon. I don't know if they'll do another word on their Twitter for today, Tuesday. I think they will. I honestly think they will. I think they'll do it before, whatever this announcement is. So, they've woken up. And yes, Warner Bros. Montreal has also woken up, but what's the difference? Well, they're tweeting that, they're hiring a technical animator and stuff like that. Mafia, they're doing I would call them cryptic. Yes, I know they're only one word, but they're like teasers. Like, why are you only posting one-worded tweets? Why have you done it 2 days in a row? Again, it could be 3 days in a row today. And then all of the other stuff we've heard from Mafia. Remember, I mean, this goes back a long time. I've talked about it here. I've talked about it on the second channel. If you guys want to check that out, I'll leave the link in the description for my second channel. I've talked a lot about Mafia there as well. And a lot of the leaks and rumors we've heard of Mafia, are on both. They're on Podcast Now and my second channel. So check it out. But what do we know? Well, we know that Hangar 13 is making a new game, rumored to be Mafia 4, right? We know that's happening. We know also that it's very, very likely that we're getting a Mafia 2 remaster. It's been rated in different countries around the world. Most recently, yesterday, I believe it was rated in Brazil. I believe it had already been listed in Australia. And you normally list these things, you give it like the ESRB rating, right? Like teen, mature, stuff like that. When it gets that rating, it's pretty close. Normally it's hidden, right? Call of Duty games have done that before, where they'll get secretly rated, or it'll be kind of a secret, but somebody will find out about it, and that's because the game is very close to coming out, right? So Mafia has that. And again, we even know from other leaks that like Mafia 2's remaster. Now, what's confusing is there has been some kind of cross communication that it seems like it's possible we get all three. It's possible the remaster of Mafia is actually Mafia 1 through 3. That's not confirmed, but people have said that. But then kind of separately, it really seems like of all of them, Mafia 2 specifically is the game that's getting remastered. So, later today, do we get a Mafia 2 remaster? Here's another question for you. We all know Mafia 4 is real. We all know Mafia 4 is coming. We also know that 2K Games has said, and I think even Take-Two, who owns 2K, they've said, like, there's going to be an announcement very, very soon. And this was, I believe, back in February, and I think they said the announcement will be over the next couple months. The couple doesn't necessarily mean 2, right? I think it meant around E3 time, which is basically, now that there is no E3, that's where we're in, right? We're in E3. Everything's a go. May, we've had some stuff. We're getting some stuff today. I'm sure there'll be stuff throughout the next several weeks in May, and obviously June is going to be very big. PlayStation will probably reveal, well, obviously, not probably, they will. PlayStation will finally step out of the shadows, and they'll talk about stuff. So we're in that time. So this is a perfect time to do it. I guess the question I have is, again, there's only yes, they could have something completely non-Mafia related today, and in which case I actually probably would be disappointed because I feel like now I'm really gearing myself up for that. But do you do a Mafia 2 remaster and that's it? Is that the game they announced today is just, or even let's just say a Mafia remaster? So we don't I know the title of this video, kind of clarifies and specifies that it's Mafia 2, but let's just say for the sake of things, to make it really easy, let's say they do a Mafia remaster. So it's whether it's Mafia 2 or whether it's the whole, all 3 of the games remastered, and it's coming out this upcoming year. They give the release date, they give a trailer, all that kind of stuff. Do they just give that? Or are we completely going to drop that, and do we get Mafia 4 for some? I mean, do they just drop and they say, okay, here is the world reveal trailer for, and remember, this has to be a game we haven't seen yet. It's a reveal trailer. It's something that's not known to the public. Now, the problem is both of these things aren't known. We've never seen and officially heard of Mafia 4, and we haven't seen and officially heard of Mafia 2 remaster / Mafia remaster in general, right? So again, it makes it a little tough, but do you do just Mafia 4? And in which case, what was all this talk about, basically, with Mafia 2? I really think the best way to do it is to do them both at the same time. Because if we're honest, if we're honestly being honest with ourselves, but no, truly, if we're being honest with ourselves, is Mafia 2's remaster enough for today? Is that, and if I have said tomorrow, by the way, in this video, I'm sorry. It's because I'm recording it Monday, so I'm trying to train my brain to pretend like I'm talking at like 2 a.m. in the morning, right? So is Mafia 2 big enough to carry today? Again, it goes back to my problem or I guess the problem I have artificially created for Jeff Keighley and for the Game Awards. Again, love the guy. He does such a great job, but things get overhyped, and I oftentimes leave his events, his whatever he throws, I oftentimes leave them disappointed because he normally hypes them up. Other people hype them up. I hype them up myself in my head, and then it kind of lets me down. In fact, almost all of Jeff Keighley's things always do that. Again, is that necessarily his fault? No, not necessarily. It honestly isn't. I think it's partially it, but not fully. But again, the strict rules, let's say, that I'm putting on this thing is, again, it's got to be that middle tier game. Is Mafia 2 Remaster a remaster of a game that's very old but loved? I mean, it's the best game in the Mafia franchise. Is that enough for people today? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I feel like maybe the whole Mafia remaster would be something, even though Mafia 2 is the one that people want remastered more than the others. Why do you need to remake Mafia 3, by the way? Because it just came out. I mean, not just, but it came out just a few years ago. I mean, it hasn't been that long since we had Mafia 3. So, again, Mafia 2, Mafia 4, what do you do? Do you do both of them? Do you just do Mafia 4? Obviously, Mafia 4 would be enough. If you announced Mafia 4 on its own today, that would be big enough. That's a brand new game. It's not like GTA. It's not like Batman. And again, not to take anything away from it. I don't want people to kind of get the wrong opinion that it's such a smaller thing. I mean, I think it's small in the general frame of things. It's not like a first party. It's not like Horizon 2 or God of War 2 or Halo Infinite or GTA. You know what I mean? You just have to think, and I think that's fair. There's different levels of games. I don't think anybody would say Mafia 4 is like the biggest game known to man. And again, I don't think that's what we should be expecting tomorrow. So maybe Mafia 4 fits in. It's tough. Also, again, with the Twitter coming back to life, it's confusing because, is it teasing Mafia 2's remaster or is it teasing a brand new game? And also, again, back to the middle of this video when I said one of the biggest dilemmas is if you do Mafia 2 and that's it, if you just do Mafia 2's remaster, do people start asking questions, like what happened to Mafia 4? Do people start asking questions about that? And then don't you kind of have to speak out and say, and also, why would you be remaking, or like again, remastering, remake, why would you be remastering Mafia 2 or any Mafia game in general if you didn't have plans to make a fourth game? And on top of that, we know that they are making a fourth game. In fact, we know a bunch of details about it, right? So I feel like that would kind of backfire in a way, because people would start asking questions where it's like, well, do you have Mafia 4 being worked on too? And then do they have to comment and say like, well, we have more to show. Like, we're going to show more in a few weeks. We're going to do our own thing. It's possible. I honestly feel like the best way to do it is to do them both at once. You know, do a Mafia 4 and also say, hey, here's the trailer for Mafia 4, but then also here's a really quick trailer for the Mafia Remaster, and we're not going to give the release date for Mafia 4 or show gameplay or whatever. We're just going to show the trailer. But for Mafia 2, you know, this remaster, well, we'll show a little bit of it, and then we're going to give the release date, and it comes out this year. Maybe it comes out in the next couple months. Maybe it comes out in the fall, but it's definitely coming out in 2020. I feel like that's the best case scenario. Again, I don't, even in this video, I don't want to get myself too hyped, because I don't want to go into it expecting Mafia 2 and Mafia 4, because then if we don't get Mafia 4, Mafia 4 is the big one, right? Mafia 2 is loved. I've never played it. People have always just told me it's amazing and you should play it. And guess what? I will. If it gets remastered, I absolutely will buy it. But I think if you honestly asked anybody, would you want Mafia 2's remaster, or do you want a brand new Mafia game, and you pitch them what we've heard about it, I think they're going to pick Mafia 4, right? So it is a conundrum. I don't want to overhype myself, but I really do think, I mean, the whole video, right, is talking about Mafia. I really feel like that's the most likely. Now, is there a chance that it's something completely different and we wasted everybody's time talking about this, you know, in this video and in the past videos? Sure, that's possible. Could it actually be a Mass Effect remake? Sure. We'll have to see. We'll honestly have to see. But I'll tell you, I am going into it. I'm going to wake up bright and early, going to get all ready to go to watch this thing, and I am expecting something Mafia related. What? That, you know, I'm not going to set expectations there. I'm just expecting something Mafia related. So guys, let me know in the comments below. We only have a couple hours. I don't think this video is going to do very good as the day progresses after the game gets announced, because then it's kind of worthless. But let me know as we get closer to the announcement at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. What game do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's Mafia? Do you think it's 4? Do you think it's 2's remaster? Let me know in the comments. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed. Have that bell icon turned on. Again, second channel's link will be in the description below if you guys want to check it out. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we will have the third video today, the last video. I will be covering whatever this game is, so I'll end up talking to you guys a little bit later on in the day if it's Mafia, okay? Thank you guys for watching. Have fun with this game announcement, and I'll talk to you guys all later.